Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. We begin tonight with breaking news. Police have now charged 2 17-year-old boys with murder in relation to the death of 19-year-old Billy Ray Waters. We're joined by reporter Tom Johnson, who's been following the case. Tom, what do we know about these developments?
Well, Rachel, we know one of the 17-year-olds is from Riverside, the other is of no fixed address. They'll both appear in an after-hours court in Launceston tonight, but because they are youths, that'll be a closed session. Now, the murder charges are in relation to the death of 19-year-old Billy Ray Waters from Launceston, who police will allege was murdered on the 4th of August. Police strongly believe it's his body which was found in bushland near Mayfield on Friday, although the body hasn't been formally identified yet. There's also a 33-year-old man in custody. He hasn't been charged, but he is assisting police. It's understood the trio is all known to Mr Waters. Rachel, police are thanking members of the public who provided information to Crime Stoppers, which helped lead to the arrests. Back to you.
OK, thank you very much for that update, Tom. Tom Johnson there with that breaking news. A 20-year-old male passenger has died in a car crash on a remote Tasmanian road early this morning. The man, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was thrown from a ute when it rolled on Stonehouse Road near Tombs Lake at 4:30am. A 20-year-old male driver survived with minor injuries. Police say alcohol is a likely factor in the crash. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. A 27-year-old man remains in a critical condition in the Launceston General Hospital following a crash on St Leonard's Road yesterday. Police say the man was driving a Ford Ranger ute when he crossed the centre line and collided with 2 southbound vehicles. No one else was seriously injured in the crash. And a hatchback was nearly thrown into a car yard during a 3-vehicle smash at Kings Meadows last night. 2 4-wheel drives were also involved in the crash on Hobart Road at around 6:30, which blocked northbound traffic. Police were unable to confirm if anyone was injured. The future of the Tasmanian lobster industry looks to be more lucrative than ever before, thanks to a world-first study. Federal funding enabling Tasmanian scientists to research whether lobsters can be successfully bred onshore in a hatchery, which could kickstart a multi-million-dollar industry.
The speaker of small lobsters at Taroona could play a big role in developing a new industry. Scientists from the University of Tasmania have spent a number of years researching whether larvae can be successfully reared at an onshore hatchery. They're now ready to take it a step further.
We'll be having a look at the development of onshore technology for the production of rock lobsters in Australia.
The federal government providing $5 million to this next stage. They'll study diet, growing conditions, biosecurity and transporting the final product. If successful, it'll pave the way for commercial hatcheries to develop in the next 5 years, helping feed a growing demand for the delicacy.
So you can have sustainability in the fact that you're actually producing the lobsters in a hatchery, so you're not taking them from the wild.
A world first, a game changer for this industry. It's going to open up so many doors in terms of economic development.
Professor Smith says a hybrid model in Vietnam, where wild baby lobsters are caught and bred in cages, indicates it's viable.
Exactly the same as the price that Australian fishers get for their product that comes out of Northern Queensland and Torres Strait.
15 Tasmanian jobs will be supported during the research, with local Senator Jonathan Dunniam pleased the state is leading the way.
Showcasing their abilities and what they can do, what they can deliver for the world.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Ambulance volunteers in Deloraine say services in their community will suffer if proposed changes come into effect. Deloraine is set to become a double branch station later this year, meaning a paramedic will be rostered on 24 hours a day rather than 12 hours a day. Locals are concerned this will put more pressure on volunteers who respond to cases alongside paramedics and see resources diverted to areas of higher demand.
The ambulances will be working a lot more hours in Launceston and Devonport, and the community will suffer for it. They've implemented the same model in the south, and it's already proven that That's exactly what it does. It increases the workload on the volunteers. Volunteers are leaving.
The state government says operational arrangements for volunteers won't change and more paramedics will help stations like Deloraine to respond to more cases. The government says its investment will see 42 extra paramedics rolled out across regional areas. Wreaths have been laid in memorial ceremonies across the state today, honouring Tasmanian soldiers who fought in the Vietnam War. Veterans, community members and local dignitaries gathering together to pay their respects.
Today is a very special day for many veterans. It's just great, you know, to be able to have wounded, healed some of them wounds, and by holding our day and just keep on remembering.
Vietnam Veterans Day also marking 50 years since the battles of Bin Ba and Hatzik. A Tasmanian artist has taken out the Hadley's Art People's Choice Award for his piece paying tribute to the January bushfires. Nigel Hewitt has used the ashy remains as his paint to capture the devastation left behind.
It may look like just a sprinkling of dust up close, but if you take a step back, the Tasmanian wilderness emerges. This Burnie-born artist has used the charred remains of a fiery force of nature to create his winning artwork.
It's very important that it still represents what it is, which is ash. So when you look at this image, it still looks like ash. And to be able to achieve that, I've got to find ways of sprinkling the ash as a dust onto the surface.
The ashy snapshot of Lake St Clair National Park taking out the Hadley's Art Prize People's Choice Award for 2019. Selected from 33 finalists out of over 600 entries.
As you get closer, you could almost smell the ash. And then, as people looked into it, they could see the thylacines and understood the message about a time gone by. I think that's the reason why people felt they could engage with this particular work.
Nigel gathers wood ash from devastating scenes, such as the destruction caused by bushfires that tore through Tasmania earlier this year.
There's so much alive and there's so much dead, you know, dead trees, you know, things that happen. It's reality, it's life. And in this one there is that very, very sensitive balance about life and death.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians are being advised to rug up this week with a wintry blast expected over the next 3 days. A series of troughs will bring rain, wind and even snow in areas as low as 400 metres. The Weather Bureau says the west of the state will bear the brunt of the conditions, with falls of up to 80 mils and gale force winds forecast.
Looking at gusts up to about 100 kilometres per hour in parts of the state through Tuesday and Wednesday, and there is a slight risk we'll see that also about the northwest coast during Monday evening.
Conditions should ease on Thursday.
The Hobart Hurricanes remain undefeated in the Northern Territory Strike League, winning both their fixtures in Darwin today. In the late game, Charlie Wakim sent a warning to the Big Bash League in a dominant display. It might be a lower tier than the big budget Big Bash, but it's a sign the Hurricanes haven't lost their touch. Charlie Wakim was the star in another big total for the visiting side. He put away an unbeaten 82 runs off 57 balls. His effort knocked City Cyclones to the canvas. Chasing 148 to win, the Territory team was in trouble from the start. Rookie Lawrence Neil-Smith enjoyed a confidence boost, claiming 2 wickets in his first over before the Hurricanes cruised to a 13-run win. Earlier in the day, the Hurricanes skittled the Southern Storm for just 98 after posting 4 for 187 from their 20 overs. Sean Willis top scored with 50, while Alex Pycroft claimed 3 wickets. And elsewhere, Tasmanian Scott Bowden is within striking distance of making the top 10 in the Tour of Utah. The Team Bridge Lane rider is 12th in general classification, 35 seconds behind the 10th place rider with 1 stage remaining. Fellow Tasmanian Nathan Earl is 42nd overall.
A band of showers moved out of the southeast early this morning before a cloud band moved across the state, bringing warmer than average temperatures. Hobart reached a top of 19 degrees today, Launceston 16, Burnie and Devonport both 14. 19 was the state's top temp recorded at Friendly Beaches. Ouse and Flinders Island both reached 17, St Helens and Maria Island 16, Curry, Smithton, Low Head and Strawn all 13, Laoini 7. Looking to the skies now, and we can see a cloud band covering the majority of the state today. On the bigger picture, that cloud band is part of a cold front crossing the southeast of the continent. Tomorrow that front will head off into the Tasman as a high pressure system pushes in, sending a strong southerly stream our way. On the waters, winds west to southwesterly reaching 35 knots about the west and north later in the day. Swells at 5 to 6 metres in the west and south. We've got a few warnings. There is a gale warning current for waters between Low Rocky Point and St Helens Point, with a strong wind warning in place for the remainder of the coast. There's a bushwalkers weather alert for the Western and Central Plateau districts, a road weather alert for the West, Central Plateau and the Southeast, and a warning to sheep graziers for the Furneaux Islands, Northwest Coast, Upper Derwent Valley and Southeast. It's looking fairly wet across the state tomorrow. Showers in Hobart with an expected top of 11 degrees. Dover and Ouse both 10. Launceston late showers with a top of 12. Devonport 12 also with showers increasing. Scottsdale 10. Burnie showers and 11. Rain expected at Strawn, also 11. Stanley 12. A possible early shower at St Helens 12. A possible late shower at Swansea, also 12. Ross a top of 10 degrees. Moving ahead to Tuesday now with showers and rain expected across the state. Possible thunderstorms in the far south. Wednesday showers more frequent about the west and south, and Thursday showers in the west and south but mostly fine elsewhere. Looking further north tomorrow with a sunny day expected for Perth, Sydney and Brisbane. Darwin looking mostly sunny and showers forecast for Adelaide and Melbourne. And finally, let's take a quick look at the current conditions. With tonight's rain and a few wet days ahead, do take care on the roads. Rach.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Britt. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. I'm Rachel Williams. Good night.